Evening, friends and neighbors. Hope you're all doing well. Looks like folks are starting to get into the room, so we'll get started. Welcome back. I hope that you guys are doing well and staying safe out there. The COVID thing has been interesting. We're going to talk about that some tonight. Lots of questions. But before we go any farther, I want to let you guys know something special. I got a chance and had a very long talk, nearly half an hour, with Stephon from ESPN, all about Alex Smith and his recovery and what's happened since Project 11, where it's going from here. It's going to be a special on the podcast, Unlocked on Chiefs, on Wednesday, as well as I should have some form of video. Couldn't get Stephon on video, but I have the audio, and I'll give you my side of the video here in a couple of days. So keep an eye out for that. Should be very cool. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please hit the sub button as well as that bell notification so you know when something goes up. Leave your comment below. And if you like this one, leave that thumbs up. It always helps. Got a lot of friends in the room at this point, and I appreciate you guys for doing that. We are going to go through kind of the whole thing. Oh, look at Brian Gooch is already in here, man. Brian Gooch. Back on top of it. Thanks, Gooch. I appreciate the support. Folks, if you want to help the channel, support me, support it, and everything that we're doing around here, you can always leave a super chat like Gooch does. I really appreciate that. And he's one of the stalwarts, the ones that are always here, and I appreciate it very, very much. I am using new software tonight. I'm going to try to incorporate that more and see if this helps us with all the questions as they get stacked up. So I know Aaron's in the room already, so I hope that is going to be something we can continue. Aaron, let me know if you have any trouble with what we talked about earlier today. Aaron is our mod, folks. Give him a hand. He takes care of things around here. And right now, what I'm doing is going through Gooch is back, and I'm happy for that. We're going to get into the questions. Thanks for that first one, Gooch. And looks like you got another one. Oh, look at that. Shocking. You're all over it, man. And what I'm doing with the software is I'm going to try to highlight the questions as I go so you guys can actually see. So here's one from Hot and Spicy. And which player were you surprised that the Chiefs didn't draft in 2020? And they had an opportunity early in the round, early in the draft, late in the round at 32 to draft a couple of corners that I thought that they might be interested in. Trayvon Diggs, you guys know I was pretty high on him before the draft, but also because he has that prototypical size, I thought that was something that they would really like, and it might be something that we see from them. It didn't end up happening. And that's okay. Really raw guy, a lot of upside, but has a ways to go. I think what they were thinking is that they have a couple of guys with a little bit of experience, but they wanted somebody who was ready to get in and work and didn't need that much development. So that was important to them as far as I can tell. Also, felt like that Christian Fulton was an option as well. Another guy with a lot of experience, athletic, didn't quite play up to par. And I think that was probably what put them off about him. And just in general, they felt like they didn't have the options in this class that were exactly what they were looking for. Not quite up to par for them. Mr. Gooch, I know I'm behind. Your subscriptions are coming. I'm working on new logos. We're going to do memberships, and that's what he's talking about, the subscription to a membership. It'll be a monthly fee where you become a member of the channel. You'll get special icons and emojis at the very beginning level, which will just be a couple of bucks. You'll get access to members only material as well. We'll do some probably one-on-ones is what I'm thinking, where one of the members will get to be a guest with me. We'll do a stream similar to this, as well as some members-only content that I will eventually produce. You've met Dan Harms. He's doing a lot of film work. He will continue with the channel. We're going to continue to bring on some new contributors here and there, but you're going to get some extra things that way as well. And the levels will go up. It's more support equals more access, that kind of thing. I just got to get it all squared away, and I got to build all the icons and the emojis and all that stuff that takes me forever because I can yak and I can watch football. The rest of it is a struggle. So I'm always doing something. But I swear, Gooch, it's on the way and I will get it done. Moving forward, there is Mr. Morrow. And Aaron, it does look like the mod icon's back. Let me know if it is not. And we'll keep moving on. Kevin Pippin, how are you? Could you see the Chiefs trading Chris Jones for Stephon Gilmore? I can't actually. I think what we've seen is that they don't prioritize corner the same way that I do or that a lot of teams do. So I really don't see them making that trade. I don't think that the Patriots are going to value Chris Jones as much. I think they're going to call it maybe stretching, maybe I don't want to call him not worth it, but I think in their eyes, they're not going to see it the same way that a lot of us do, in that they feel like Chris Jones is worth the amount of money that he is going to demand. I think that's going to be I think that's going to be the hardest part. And I am talking about this guy right here. Yes, he does a lot. Yes, he puts out big plays. It's the consistency that is the issue, I think. And I think that's what it comes down to. So I just don't see it. That's my personal opinion. Great question, though. Cole's here. Does Taco Charlton, with the Charlton signing, along with all the other free agents we've signed, does it negate any comp picks? It depends on playing time. Some of those are going to work into the formula, and the formula is not public. But that's going to be the question that comes down to, is who contributes to the team and versus who contributes to the other teams that they signed with. I think they're still in line to. I expect at least a comp. It probably won't be a third round comp. It'll probably be more like a fifth at this point, unless Taco just like really lights it up. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, Cole. Let's see, Lucas Clemens, how many running backs do we keep? That's a big question. First, you have to start with, I don't count Anthony Sherman. He's a fullback. I don't count him in the same category, but some teams do. So I think right now, 4 tailbacks and a fullback is about what we're talking about. Could it be more? They were really, I think, thrown off by the amount of attrition they had to go through last year. I think Brett Veach was very clear post-draft about how he felt for that. So that's impressive. And that's important for knowing what they might want to do this year in order to stave off those injury concerns and still have enough backs to get things done. I think that might be it. Let's see, Aaron. I hope that's working. Let me know. I haven't gotten to that part yet, so I'm getting there. Oh, and there's Jake, Jake from State Farm, Alec. Thank you, my friend. Who do you think is the dark horse for the defense? As in dark horse to make a big impact? I think it might be Willie. I mean, Willie's going to be, he's not the dark horse. He's going to be the guy that gets the best shot. I think Snead might have an outside chance to really produce. Could it be Bo Peep Keys? Maybe. I don't know exactly who's going to do that. But I would put my money on the corners. There could be even one of the UDFA corners. You never know. There's a couple of interesting guys there. But Jake from Alec, thanks for your support in Super Chat. Folks, be like Jake and Gooch. You guys are keeping this thing afloat. I don't know what I'm going to do without you. So don't go anywhere. All right, let's see. Where'd we go? Okay, there's Jake's. Next question. Pono Kwai, how are you? Do you see the Chiefs signing any free agent corners? Too much is riding on the youngster Steve and Keys. Yeah, I do think that they'd consider it. I just don't know if they really have somebody in mind, somebody that they really, really like, or if they're just going to kind of ride with the guys that are there on the roster. Keys, Snead, maybe pull up one of the UDFAs, Davis, Lavert Hill. They're all options to join Ward and Fenton. And I mean, if they don't part ways with Bashaud Breeland, he'll be back eventually. It may take a while. Bashaud Breeland is facing a couple of different things. And let me see, do I have anything on Bashaud here? I should. Sorry, I'm getting too caught up in trying to do fancy stuff, you guys. I apologize. Because I want to be able to do stuff like this and show you some interesting images. I think this image shows you what in my mind is the interesting part, and that's this guy right here. His role going from nickel corner back to safety, I think, is something that I'm looking at Snead. Is that enough? I don't know. So could they look at somebody? Prince Mukamarga did sign over in Chicago. So do they go after somebody like an Eli Apple that has history but has upside? Do they go after Logan Ryan, who's still, I was asked even today, and as far as I understand, he's still looking for like $10 million plus a year, and I just can't see the Chiefs spending that. So that's a difficult one for me. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but I just have a hard time seeing it. So I would like to see them bring some fresh blood in. I think if they can get something done with Chris Jones, certainly it's a possibility, but I can't see it happening right this second. Good question, Pono. Let's see. Hot and spicy. Which player do you think we draft or sign as a UDFA will be a star? A star is a tough one. You never know. Even players that project well, like Willie Gay Jr. and L'Jarius Sneed. Oh man, that's a tough one. Like I could see both of them becoming, really building block defenders, but stars, I don't know. It could be either of them. Could be somebody out of nowhere. I think, man, Darrell Williams, the guard / center, he might be a really underrated one that not only could make the team push for playing time, but could end up being like an anchor on the offensive line for a while. So keep an eye out for him as well. Yeah, that's a great question. Tactics. You guys seem to have more high praise for Hitchens. I was hoping that Willie Gay would replace him and play with Wilson. No, I understand where you're coming from. I don't see it happening because I don't think everything that Brett Veach has said this offseason has been playing around the concept of coverage. And this shows you that Damian Wilson's a good linebacker. He can play some coverage, but he can't turn and run with speed. He doesn't have that kind of coverage ability. So while I do feel that he is something that adds to the defense, I don't think he's who they want on the field in the nickel. And so I really do feel that it is more Willie playing with Hitch rather than replacing him. I do feel pretty confident in that one, but you never know. I've been wrong in the past, and you guys know it. I just think it comes down to what the Chiefs are prioritizing is the coverage itself, not the ability to go to coverage when you want to. It's straightforward, the coverage. So that's where we're at. Let's see who's next. Mr. Gooch, you're the man. What does the Hilaire pick do to Thompson? And do we use Darrell as a trade piece? By the way, Vienna Lager, here's to you guys. I should probably show you this. This is from True Brewing in Denver. And if you're a beer fan, I mean, look how pretty that is. If you get a chance to pick up something from True, give it a shot. And I do have a new series going on the podcast channel about my brew techniques and some of the equipment and stuff. If you're into beer, check that out. Tell your friends that are. Trying to grow that channel as well. What it comes down to me is I think Thompson is a question mark still. I know a lot of people were super high on him last season, and I can understand. He's got a lot of interesting traits. He didn't quite get there. We all know that he didn't progress enough to become a fixture in the offense. And that's just the way that it is. I said last season that I thought season 2 was going to be a big year for Darwin Thompson. And I think the injury to Darrell has him at somewhat of an opportunity to get more reps to make an impression. The Hilaire pick tells me that the team doesn't really see it that way. If they were super excited about what they saw from Thompson and him taking the next step forward, I don't think Hilaire would have been the pick. That tells you that he's in for a battle. And you all know how much I like Darrell and what he brings. I think a trade piece is an option, though, because I think that they do feel like he's not quite the dynamic runner that they want, but they do love his pass block. They do love his pass catching ability. So I would say that right now, depth chart wise, it's Damian, Clyde, and then I would probably go Darrell and then DeAndre Washington with Darwin at the bottom, which would push. At least Darwin didn't play a whole lot of snaps last year. You can probably get him on the practice squad. I believe he's eligible, and I believe he didn't play enough to take himself out of that. So there's always that too. I don't want to say that it's just a disconnection. But if they feel that they want Darwin and they do want some kind of trade piece, Daryl could certainly be one of those, Gooch. That's a very good point. Doodles, did you see what all Sammy said? Man, I couldn't even keep up with everything Sammy said. I've read some of it, and I heard Josh talk to the author that did the interview. So I'm going to finish those up and maybe have some thoughts later this week or next week. And by the way, we're not going to do a live stream next Monday night. We'll have a film piece for you, but I'm going to be camping. So by the time I get back, it's going to be pretty late. I don't think I can make it back for the show. So we're going to take 1 week off on the live stream. No big deal. But I hope that the interview, Doodles, gives some clarity to what Sammy wants to do and where he's at head-wise. I think that's great. Casey K, how are you? Who do you think will be the 7 playoff teams in the AFC and the NFC? The AFC, you've got Chiefs, Browns, Bills, Colts, Ravens, Broncos, Raiders. So you think 3 from the West. That's pretty bold, but I can see why you say that. I think the Steelers beat the Browns. I'm not really impressed with what the Browns have done. I don't care who they are, and Beckham's making noise again. So I just have trouble buying into it. I do like the Bills pick there. I do like the Colts pick. I think Ravens are the 2 seed. I just don't see anybody being able to really beat on them. And then it comes down to whether the Browns are good enough to displace either the Broncos or the Raiders. I can get down with what you're saying. I don't know if it's going to end up that way. I would definitely put the Ravens at 2. Ravens might even end up the number 1 seed again. You never know. This Chiefs team, no team is undefeated. I don't ever expect that to happen again. So you never know who's going to get that win. Cole, what will be the cost for memberships? The first one will be like $2 or $3 a month. It'll go up to like 25. I'm not going to do the outrageous stuff. Like there are some channels that it's like $50 a month, $100 a month for the membership level. I'm not doing that. It's going to be relatively cheap, and everybody's going to have an option that is like super cheap, couple of $3 on up a little bit, but we're not going crazy. Gooch, we've missed you too. Stu Bronson, do you think Lavert Hill will make the team? He's one of my dark horses. I think it comes down to, can he play enough special teams to get onto the roster? I think he's got the talent to make it long term. It's about getting that first look. And I think he's at one of the best spots for a UDFA to be on this roster, in that he doesn't have that stiff of competition. It's one of the weak points on the roster. So I do think he will make this team, because when you look at it, and depending what happens with Breeland's staring at 4 games for I think it's the enhancement substance that's already separate. It had already happened, not from this arrest. This arrest thing, it could cost him his career. If he's convicted, he'll be in jail. So see ya. But I think he's going to get an additional suspension from it if he isn't convicted. Even if the charges are dropped, I think he's going to get a suspension. So you could miss Breeland anywhere from 8 games to a full season, is my thought. So that leaves you with Warden, Fenton as your top 2. You have Antonio Hamilton. I know the Chiefs are trying to talk him up, but I don't see him playing defense. What little snaps he's played on defense the last 3 years, I didn't see anything good that makes me think I want him out there on the field. And I do feel that the coaching staff will get to that same conclusion. So that leaves the rookies, Snead and Keys, and I put them in that order very specifically because I think Snead is the guy that right now is number 3. Where that is the bigger question mark. I think Fenton showed enough that you can put him out there as a starter if you're just in a 2-corner set and feel okay. When you go to 3-man, which should be their base defense, their nickel defense, 3 corners, they like him inside. I think he needs the sideline as his friend. I think he needs to be outside. Snead has played slot and that kind of mid-safety role thing. Pattern match in particular. And I am working on an all-22 review for you guys of L'Jarius Snead, because I do think after Willie Gay, he's a guy who on the defense that's got the best shot to contribute. So it's about Keys and I mean, Alex Brown is on this roster still too. There are some other options that have a little bit of experience, but I do think that Lavert Hill can fight his way onto the roster. Good question, Stu. Firefighter Farmer, how are you? Chris was talking on Locked On that Mike Pennell may not be here this year. Didn't they just extend him? They just brought him back. I think it's a 1-year contract. And Chris is, I think, trying to see like why, how important the pass rush is. I think Mike Pennell is on here no matter what. I don't think they can afford to let go of him. I don't think Chris feels the urgency to stop the run as much as I do. This isn't an actual question, but hey, what's up, Bert? Okay, so Aaron is all good. Okay, I'm glad to hear it. Rock on. We'll keep rolling, you guys. And I'm sorry if my pace isn't very good tonight. This software, I don't see as many questions. I think I'm doing a better job picking them out, but we'll see how this goes. You guys let me know at the end. We'll probably go 50 minutes to an hour again. I'll try not to go over. Testicular. Toba's our new head coach. Are we in good hands? That's a good question. I think for this particular staff, yes. I think the transition to Tobe would be one that can continue what Patrick's been doing. And as long as Patrick is in good shape, then the team's in good shape. If you were bringing him in from the outside, I don't think it would be the same. But for a quarterback like Mahomes, eventually he'll be able to do the Peyton, Tom Brady thing where he's running the offense more than the coordinator is. But he's not there yet. He's a ways off. And I think Eric Bieniemy is more important than people give credit. If I had to pick one of the two of them, I'd keep Dave at special teams and I'd make Bieniemy the head coach is what I would do. Let's see. Justin Trova, thank you. I did check the P.O. box today. They did not have it for me yet. I appreciate it very much. You got to realize this is not a post office mailbox. This is a private one because I live way up in the mountains and we don't have that kind of stuff up here. So it's always a little bit of a challenge, but I'll keep checking. Don't worry, they will get it eventually. Once they receive it, it usually takes an extra couple of days to get to me. So, but thanks, Justin. I really do appreciate that. I know it's been a long time coming and I appreciate you thinking about it. Mr. Gooch, again, you are the man. Oh, thanks. I'm glad. This is something that I started using at the draft. I'm glad it looks good. I like being one of the main reasons I bought this was so that I could put this up for you guys so you could see the questions. And when I'm answering yours and you're a super chatter, I want to make sure that you're on the screen, get a little something out of it. So I think this is kind of a cool way to do it. It's just one more thing that I got to do though, right? Marty, let's see. I do love me some Darrell Williams. And I don't know why somebody would be calling me right now. Let me shut that off. Apologies. You like him too. Do you really think that they'll give up on Thompson, though, after just 1 year? Though that would tough with nice backs. That's really the issue. I think you've gotten at the running back position with Damian and Clyde and DeAndre Washington too, who you can play in this league because he's proved it. I think you're kind of overpowered at the position. It's a nice position to be in, having so many guys at the running back, but it also makes things a little more cut and dry. And I think at the end of the day, Darrell can contribute. I don't think that they're certain of that for Darwin. So yeah, even though Darwin cost him a draft pick and Darrell was a UDFA, cost-wise, they're not that different. So it's not like you're saving money. I think it just comes down to, at that point, he's a guy that you have to rely on in case of emergency, right? If the other guys get hurt. So I do feel that it comes down to who can do more for them right now. And I think that answer is going to be Darrell for now. But like you said, upside and just 1 year for Darwin. And I do think Darwin's going to get better. But we just don't know until we see what they have working on the field. Aaron, I like that one. Let's see. I missed something. Hold on. Oh, Gooch has more. Oh, good God. Jake has more. Guys, I'm not scrolling as well on this one. Okay. That one. Okay. Mr. Gooch is here for the long haul. Thank you. Packed a lunch. Okay, good. I like having that. Nathan Roth, any news about having a training camp or a preseason? They started telling the teams to like prepare. They still can't open facilities until May 28th or 29th. Sorry. So that's like the earliest they can even start planning for a training camp. I expect training camps to be pushed back, and they're starting to make noise around the league about playing without fans. So you could see nobody gets to go to games. I think that's going to be okay with most fans because they'll have football. And if they have that, then I think that's really the bottom line. Mr. Alec, thank you for your super chat again. You agree with Coach. I'm liking the new software and highlighting the question. Okay, cool. I am glad to see that. I want you guys to enjoy that. That makes a difference. Casey K, who do you think will win all 8 divisions? I do think it is Chiefs, Ravens. I think the Steelers pull ahead and the Colts. I think you had all those right. I think the Niners stay out front. I'm going to give Tampa Bay that one. And I think the Packers come back. So really, it's the NFC South. Does Atlanta really, or no, that the South is the Bucks. Sorry, the NFC teams kind of throw me. So North, so East, NFC East. It's got to be the Cowboys, right? I mean, they gave Dak some help. I think that's important. Could it be Philly? Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it's the Cowboys right now. Cowboys or Philly. That's where I'm at, Casey. Dwight Raleigh, how are you? Do you see the running game improving like it was with Hunt when we had him? I don't know if I'd go that far. Again, Clyde's a rookie, but I do feel like they could get back to it if they wanted. Here's the difference. I think Kareem was enough of a bruiser, enough weight behind him that they ran the ball more. I just don't know that they want to go back to that. I would love it, but I don't think that they do. Kansas, Carolina. Rashad Fenton and Steven Nelson are about the same size. How do they compare on the field? Nelson's quicker. He's got better lateral agility. They're both aggressive. I think Fenton might even be a little bit more aggressive. Fenton's arms are longer, and I think he's a touch taller overall. I think he hits harder, and I think he plays with functional strength better. So, that's how I would describe them. Nathan Roth, what do you think about Rodney Clemens? I haven't gone into much depth. Somebody else asked me about him a couple weeks ago and totally slipped my mind. I haven't gone back and checked, but let me write that down, and I will try to do that, Nathan. Okay. Bert Rojas, home opener against the Texans and Chiefs Thursday night. Give score prediction. Wow, man, that's a tough one. But at home on 2 weeks of camp, maybe? I don't know. I feel like it could be short. I don't think it's going to be, hitting on all cylinders, but I'll go 28-21 Chiefs. Straight out of the air, buddy. Mr. Gooch, the beer tonight is Vienna Lager from True Brewing in Denver. Next question. Gooch again. Love this, man. Oh, well, I'm late on answering it a second time. Mr. Morrow, make sure we get yours. Do you have an upgrade for Reader? Man, Reader's a tough one. I think they see Darrell Williams, the new Darrell Williams. Darrell with a Y is the lineman. Darrell with an E is the running back. Darrell with a Y, I think he's a year away. But he's strong and he's nasty, and he can play center or guard. And I think they see more of Rodney Hudson in him. He's not quite as athletic, but I think he's right about the same level as Reader. So yeah, I can see him competing later. I don't think in 2020. I don't think he's ready to walk in there and unseat Ryder. So that's kind of my thought. Let's see. Aaron, do we keep Washington trade or just plain release? I think he sticks unless they can get a little trade value for him. So that's kind of my initial thought. We'll see how they give up reps. I mean, honestly, I don't even know if they know until they actually get on the field and have a practice or 3. So Nathan Roth, what does DeAndre Washington do well? He catches the ball well. He runs outside the tackles well. He's not a power guy, but he can do a little bit of everything. He's functional. He's quicker than Darrell, but he catches as well. So that's interesting. It's just another option, another flavor in the backfield. Hog Farmer, how are you? If you go camping, watch out for Bigfoot. Yeah, hey, if you guys are Yeti fans, there have been some quote unquote sightings in my area of the Rocky Mountains. So yeah, we'll keep an eye out. Hot and spicy. Which player do you see taking the next step in development that is not Juan Thornhill? I think Travarius Ward is going to continue to get better. You guys all know how I felt about him last year. I didn't think he was a true number one, but I think he's getting better. I thought he got better through the season. I think the Super Bowl helped him. Yes, he still has deficiencies. Yes, he still doesn't turn around that well. He doesn't track the ball as well as I would like. And he just in zone is not instinctual at all. But more reps help that. And I think he's a guy that's still on the way up, and I think he still has some upside. On the other side, I think Hardman's got to be the guy that you think has the best opportunity to really step forward and improve his game. FLDB, that's the other reason for using this site. This site compresses my video signal and hopefully makes it look better. I'm glad to hear you say that. I appreciate you making that comment because that's one of the things that I had planned to have to go back and do to verify it myself afterwards. No, I do not have better internet yet. It's still my 5 megabyte DSL, which sucks. But quote unquote, when they can get back into construction phase, there is a new fiber carrier that's going to come up the mountain here. And once they can get clearance to start working, hopefully they can get me on a fiber ring, and then you guys will never have to deal with anything ever again. If I get on fiber, I will start shooting the live streams with this, my big DSLR, which is what I film my pre-recorded videos with. As long as I'm not screen sharing. When it's just me talking to camera, that's this. This is a pro level, prosumer camera. It looks super good, and it will stream, but it's like minimum of 20 megabit up. So I got to work on that. But I appreciate you asking. Thanks for that one. Derek Newson. Sorry. Oh, okay, there we go. Do you think that the biggest plus side that Clyde brings to the backfield over Damien is his ability to catch out of the backfield or his run ability? Damien's a really good pass catcher too. So yes, I think that is Clyde's strength is his pass catching, and particularly what he does after he makes the catch. But Damien's very good at that too. So I wouldn't call that his advantage. I think he runs harder than Damien does inside. And I think, honestly, his small size, much like we saw with Darwin Thompson last year, he can get into between the zone blocks and grind out yards that you don't necessarily think a bigger, taller, wider back can do. That's what I would say, Derek. Nathan, any news on college football? Nothing in particular, but I'm hearing people be a little more positive about them actually playing, and I think that's great. Let's see. Shajit, let's see. Do you think that the Chiefs will roll Mahomes out of the pocket more this year? And if they do, how good will they be? No, I think the opposite. I think they're going to try to just let him sit back and not have to run as much. I think there will still be those needs, but I don't think they're trying to do that. I think that's part of the reason they want a more dynamic backfield, to be able to pitch the ball, short dump offs, and not have Patrick have to do it as much. Teams are going to play back. They're going to play cover 4, cover 6, a lot of cover 3. They want to take the underneath stuff. So that's my thought. Sorry, folks, I'm missing some. Make sure you hit the question marks before. Bradley says, assume Chris Jones gets signed long-term, a very slight discount. Any chance we add another piece to the defense? And I'm glad the live stream looks good. That's great. If he does sign long-term, yes, they definitely will go out and find someone else. I don't know what position. I would sign a corner every time I say the Chiefs do something else. So, they have their needs list that is probably a little bit different than mine. Stu Bronson, thanks for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate the support. I'm sure you have another question. I'll get back to that. Okay, there's Aaron. Oh, there's Stu. Thanks, buddy. Okay. Bert Rojas. Pennell is a great run player, and he will be back. That's where I disagree with Chris. I don't think he's an option to go anywhere. KCK, AFC, NFC championship prediction. Chiefs beat Browns, he says, and Bucks beat Niners. Wow. Interesting. Well, I'm glad you used the back-to-back too, by the way. I'm going to start using that more. And we're going to start talking about predictive. I have some great logos coming. I got some input from some graphic designers. A couple of the viewers here helped me with some of the logos. I got some great stuff coming for you. Just think Mahomes and how rare he is. That's all I'm going to say for now. My prediction is going to be Chiefs over Ravens in the AFC Championship, and it's probably going to be man, that's a tough one. I'm going to say it's Cowboys over 49ers. I don't know. It's May. Can't hurt to take a guess, right? All right. Try not to scroll too far. Knock on wood. Bert, the memberships are taking longer than they're probably not out. I'm hoping to have them ready by the season. I got to build all kinds of stuff first, so I'm working on that. Hot and spicy. Most hated team. I don't hate teams. If I was a fan of any teams, it would be the Chiefs, Bears, Seahawks. Those were my favorites over the years, but I've tried in my old age to be very, very specifically an analyst first. So I don't hate teams. There are players I don't like, but I don't hate teams. Let's see. Steven, Concepcion, how are you? Does the scheme make the players or the players make the scheme? Yes. They both come down to both. You need fit. Making a zone corner like Josh Norman playing man coverage all the time is not a good fit. But at the same time, if you bring in Josh Norman, you can't go to a zone defense if the other 4 defensive backs don't play zone very well. If you have man corners and he's your odd man out, changing the scheme doesn't help your team. It was a bad decision to bring him in if you were a man team and you brought in a zone corner. That's a whole different story. But yeah, it definitely is about fit and finish. And it's not just one player. It's got to be for a unit, and especially on defense. On offense, you can get away with doing some little things here or there to kind of bring some spice to the offense, bring some change up to the offense. Nathan Roth, is Sammy upset with the team? I don't think so. I think he's upset with I think he expected to have a bigger career at this point. I don't think I would, given how much money he's made in the last 3 years, but that's just me. This is a good one. Testicular tactics. Always with the good questions. Make a man make a decision. This is tough for me because I am a huge Rich Gannon fan, except for the way that he says offense. But clearly, performance-wise, Trent Green, you have to go with him, in my opinion. Charlie, I talked about Breland before. I'm disappointed. I wanted him in Kansas City real bad. I like the way that he plays. I think what he did was pretty knucklehead. I can understand him being frustrated. I do feel like he kind of got singled out when there were other people there, but you can't resist arrest. And have a brain about you. You're a millionaire pro athlete. Grow up. Steve Concepcion, which player that we had let go prior to the season would you have liked to see win the Super Bowl? I mean, I like all the guys that you mentioned, but Alex Smith, I would love to see Alex get a ring as the backup, because that's how much I feel about how Alex helped Patrick get to where he is 2-3 seasons before he may have otherwise. So, and again, if you missed it earlier in the stream, I'm talking to Stephon Bell. I already have. I've done the recording. It'll be released here in a couple of days. All about Alex Smith, one-on-one with me and Stephani from ESPN. I think you guys will really dig that. Let's see who's next. Charlie, do we sign a vet corner if Breland is gone? Possibly. They should be able to recoup part of that. I'm not sure what the signing bonus is done with it if he's suspended or something else. But yeah, I think they'll make some room, and maybe they'll still be able to get a veteran corner in there. Firefighter Farm, with no fans in the stands, is there such a thing as a home field advantage? No. I think it dissipates. I mean, there's a little bit. There's jet lag from traveling. There's, guys not sleeping in their own beds, sleeping in hotels. But they usually sleep in hotels the night before a game, even at home. So that's not a big deal. But no, a lot of the home field advantage goes out the window because you don't have your fans. Let's see. Hot and spicy. Who can you see the Chiefs trading Chris Jones for? I don't think they'll trade him for a player. If they're able to trade him, and I don't think they will, I don't think there's enough market for Chris right now. it would be for draft picks. Steve Concepcion, do you prefer 3-4 or 4-3? I'm at a toss-up. I'm one of those, I like to go against the grain. 5 to 10 years ago, everybody was playing 4-3. You could get some things done as a 3-4 team, be a little exotic, do things that other teams don't see on film every day. Now it's kind of flipped. Well, maybe not now. Now it's going back towards a 4-3, I think. But 5 years ago, it was 3-4, became more dominant. There was a lot more athletes, a lot less power, right? Now we're seeing power become a more important component, especially in Kansas City, but across the league as well. So I'm just for doing something that makes your opponent have to prepare for you harder than they prepare for everybody else. Let's see. Should we upgrade over Fisher, Steve? It's hard to do that. He's a very good tackle. I mean, he's a top 20 tackle, you guys. In terms of pressure allowed, which is the only thing that really matters in the end, Eric Fisher is a very good tackle. He's not elite. To get elite, you have to spend twice as much money. With Jones and Mahomes, that's almost impossible to do. So I think what you want to do is you want to find somebody who's just as athletic that you can groom as his heir apparent for 2 seasons from now when he maybe is to the point where he needs to not be your starter anymore. I don't know. That's where I think it's at. Nathan Roth, will the Chiefs get at least one running back over 700 yards rushing this year? Maybe. I don't think there's a whole lot of chance of that. No. Would Damien come in at 560 something last year? I might could look that up. I'm not 100%, you know. This guy, I don't know. I can't remember what he came up with. No, I'm going to go with no. I don't think they're going to get anybody that. They're committee, and I don't think they want to run as much as I would like, so no. Hog Farmer, we should trade with Denver for Bowles. No. Bowles is terrible, you guys. He's not going to improve. Cody Irwin, how many years does Reed have left? What are the odds that Bieniemy hangs around long enough to take over? I'll start with the second one. I don't think Eric Bieniemy hangs around. I think Eric Bieniemy is gone after this season. Someone's going to make him a head coach, and they should. He is an extreme motivator of men, and I am a huge fan of him. And I like Dylan McCullough too. I just want to say, like, he could be on the way up eventually too. But Andy, I think Pat Mahomes has made Andy Reid younger in terms of how he feels and acts. I know Andy's had a knee, and I think he had something done to his hip as well. So I realize physically he's aging, but I feel like he feels younger to me in just the way that he talks to the media, the way that he does everything. Every time I see him, Andy Reid feels like he's a little rejuvenated because of success and because of Patrick Mahomes in particular. So I'm going to say he could go another decade. I don't see any reason why he can't coach into his 70s. Like Pete Carroll, there have been others in the past who have done it too. So I'm not going to count him out at all. Tammy might, but I'm not. Steve Concepcion, what do you think of Gay at middle linebacker? Middle's tough. I don't think he has the take on or the instincts to go middle. They tried to have him call defenses and play middle at Miss State, and it didn't work out that well. They moved him back outside. I think he can be one of the nickels, but that's a different concept. It's not attacking gaps. I just don't think he's quite instinctual enough for that. He's got learning still to do. He's definitely the athlete for it, so maybe he can get there, but I'm just talking about where he is right now. I think he's best at will, and the guy next to Hitch learning from the middle at this point. Okay, Oregon Chief Chris, how are you, buddy? Besides Jones, who is the best trade bait material to get a good CB or LB? Do you think Veach is waiting for some late salary cap releases? I'm sure he'll be watching them. He's a professional. That's what they do. But I don't know. I don't think there's anybody. I don't think you're going to wrestle away, especially this year when they've had zero preparation time. I don't think you're going to wrestle away a good corner or a good linebacker from anybody, even for Chris Jones, because of the contract. So, and I don't feel that they have a lot of excess. I mean, you could maybe trade a running back There might be an O lineman or something you could trade, but that's not going to be for a starting level guy. I just don't think that's out there. Mr. Gooch, another super chat. Thanks, buddy. Belichick can't draft wide receiver. our Veach's, our CB's Veach's kryptonite. Belichick has had difficulty. I think he really reached on Neal. I'm not sure why. I don't know. I don't think that corners are Veach's kryptonite. I don't feel that way because I don't feel like he's gone out and done something silly. I think he reached on Breland Speaks because he liked what he had. I think he liked what he brought, attitude, power, etc. I think he fell in love a little bit there. I could be wrong, but that's kind of it's exactly what happened with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They fell in love with him. They love the way that he plays, and that's what they went and did. I don't see them doing that with corners. If anything, I think Brett Veach and Steve Spagnuolo probably, because I got to figure that they're communicating. I think they undervalue what they need at corner because I think they give up a lot of yards that they don't have to because they don't invest in the position as much or in the same way that I would. They attack it with numbers, not with experience. I want shutdown corners. I want Champ Bailey. I want somebody to just take that half of the field and take it away from everybody. That's me. Let's see. Cody Irwin. How many? Oh, I already answered that one. Sorry, I was scrolling the wrong way, you guys. There's Gooch's. Hold on. There we go. Nathan Ross next. As a Chiefs fan, analyst, what was the most devastating loss in your opinion? In my memory, that thing that Andrew Luck did in Indianapolis with picking that ball up and diving over the pocket to make that comeback on a defense that was way more talented than they showed. That was disgusting. But that's me. Bert Rojas, tell me, I tell my brother Chiefs will give Raiders another 2 shellackins in 2020, especially for the first Vegas season. I'll agree with you. They'll beat them pretty handily, but I do think that the Raiders will play tougher than we have seen in recent years. And I think people who think Derek Carr sucks are going to be surprised. I think he's needed better weapons. I think if that line can come together and keep him upright, I think he can do more with more weapons, which is pretty much the same with every other quarterback. So I think you might see a little resurgence of Carr. Derek, Dustin, whatever his first name is. Pono, do you think the Ricky Seals-Jones ability is being undervalued? Maybe a little bit. But those that say that he has a couple of drop issues, that's true. Not as much as Dimitri's had, but it is true. And that he hasn't produced as much as his potential would say that he should have, that's true too. But he does still have a lot of upside. And I think in this offense, this is a great fit for him. So I will say he is being a little undervalued. I think he does make an impact. Testicular, I like this comment. We should hire Alex as a QB whisperer. I think Alex Smith would be an excellent coach. Both quarterback and head coach someday. I think he has the competitive spirit. I think he has the ability to lead. I like Alex Smith a lot. Seriously, I think you guys are going to dig this talk with Stephania. I got into the medical part. If you guys are new around here, you don't know me. I'm an exercise physiologist, and I used to be a strength and conditioning coach. Like, I get into the medical development part of it, so it's pretty awesome. Can you give your win-loss record for each Chiefs game and the record prediction? Jeez. Man, I don't even have the schedule in front of me. But I'm going to say in general, I feel like 13-3 is where I'm going to have them this year. I haven't gone down it yet. Chris and I will do a prediction show before the season, usually right before camp, and then we kind of adjust from there. Let's see. Pono, is Hutchison out of the question? I'm not sure which one you're thinking of, so I'm going to say no. Aaron, if I missed something, let me know. I thought I saw something maybe I missed. Spicy, do you think that Ricky Seals-Jones is better than Demetrius Harris? Yes. in a word. I think he's more like what they want. He's more of a wide receiver than he is an actual tight end. Nathan Roth, why do the Chiefs play the Packers week 4 of the preseason every year? I don't know. That seems to be like really common, and I have no idea why that happens, dude. Let's see. Let's see. Jason Streeter, with Gronk being back, do you see Tony G coming back to the Chiefs? I think it was cute that he said so, but no way. I think Tony enjoys the fact that he could walk around without crutches. Steven Concepcion, who are you most impressed with that Spags accomplished in Super Bowl 50 in 42 or 54? I think he had more time in 42. I think he had players that were better pass rushers as a whole, as a unit in the front than he did last year with the Chiefs. I think he had better safety play last year. And in today's version, those 12 years made a big difference. Safety play is much more important now than it was then. So I think that helped him a lot as well. Let's see. The Donk. How do you stop the Chiefs after they drafted Clyde? That's the problem. I don't think there's an answer to that. And I think that's exactly what they meant to do. They meant to make it so that nobody can stop them. It's a great point. Okay, looking for the last couple of questions here, you guys. Pono Kawhi, Saints released the guard. Yeah, that's Larry Warford, a guy that I like coming out, but he never really lived up to everything. I know he made the Pro Bowl. I don't know that he deserved it, quite frankly. He's good, but I don't think he's that good. And he's going to be expensive. He thinks he's got a market that should be, LDT range or more. So I don't see the Chiefs making a move there. Bradley Havens, rank the pass catchers by production for next year. Hill, man, I'm going to go Hill, Hardman, Watkins. Pringle, Robinson. That's what I'm going to say. All right, last question. Hog Farmer, you're the man. How much longer is Spags here? I think Spags is going to stay for a bit. I think he could get antsy in 3 or 4 years, especially if they've done well and he's got a couple of championships. I think he might want to be a head coach again. And eventually, if they win another championship, I think he'll definitely have opportunities there. I think he's a very good coach. Whether it comes out to that or not, I'm not sure. Oregon Chiefs, Chris, where do you think that the D might rank this year? I'm hoping they're right there between 18 and 14. I think that's about my expectation. They could screw around and get really good. They could break towards the top 10. But the cornerback has me a little bit nervous, and I want to see the pass rush. Frank should be healthy this year, and I want to see what they can bring on the other end. Taco might have a chance. Mike Dannon might have a chance. Tano has a chance. Braylon Speaks even has a chance. We don't even know about Alex Okafor, who's having a career year, both him and Agba, until the point that he got hurt. So that's the big question. Okay, thanks, Aaron. I appreciate that. Looks like I got it all, folks. And I got a kid thing that I'm going to do tonight. So last question right here. Donk asks, how many Super Bowls before Andy calls it quits? He gets 4 Super Bowls. He's out. But I think he feels like he might be able to get that many. So if he gets 2 or 3, I think he might still come back. So thank you guys for watching. Spread the word. Check out the video and the podcast for this stuff with Stephon Bell and Alex Smith. I'm really excited about that. I'll have more for you on memberships coming. Thank you, Gooch and Jake and everyone that supported us tonight with Super Chat. We're going to have more. Dan Harms is going to do more film. I'm going to do more film. We're going to have more for you. I know it's a weird off season, but we're going to keep cranking it out. No live stream next Monday. I'm going to be on vacation. I hope you guys have a good one. Stay safe. Make sure that you take care of yourselves. Don't take any risks you don't have to. I hope that we'll see you here in 2 weeks, and check out the channel in the meantime. Thank you all, and I'll see you next time.